Let's explore the miseries of lucid dreaming. In the words of our friend General Akbar, it's a trap. You see, my friends, indulging it. You see, by training in lucid dreaming, we are indulging and strengthening our yang tendencies. Upon the path of yang, upon the path of the Buddha's wicked cousin Devadatta, we tend to be rigid, fearful, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel. That's a tough word to pronounce. However, we're called to traverse the path of yin, to follow in the footsteps of the Buddha, and instead to be flexible, loving, laid back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. You see, when we practice lucid dreaming, we are indulging our controlling tendencies. However, upon the path of the Dzogchen yogi, the Buddhist tantrika, our primary tool is Hatha Yoga. And as a primary tool, it's pretty much the sonic screwdriver of the Buddha. That's right. Shakyamuni just might have been a Time Lord. I do look forward to chanting and meditating with you after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I spent more than 8 hours a day, every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of Buddhism, so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. This evening's practice text is Kind Gaze's Easy Meditation. Upon the path of Yang, we might superstitiously view Kind Gaze as an entity to be worshipped and supplicated. However, upon the path of Yin, we see the wisdom of simply treating Kind Gaze as an archetype whose iconography reminds us that we are already wired to master, no less practice, the Buddhist techniques of awareness and letting go, as well as bliss and letting go, no less love and letting go. As if cooking a pancake, we're going to flip and flop between mantra meditation and silent meditation. So I think it's only reasonable to begin our practice together by chanting a reminder of the meaning of the mantra together. Om I invoke the wish fulfilling Mani Jewel of the Lotus. Take two. Om I invoke the wish fulfilling Mani Jewel of love and the purifying Baby Lotus of letting go. Supplicating with whom may love and letting go be mastered by all. Our first exercise fits under the heading of bliss and letting go, and many people consider that a rather sophisticated practice. However, it is traditionally used as a preparatory to the preparatory practice, which I think is deliciously ironic. It is described in Tibet as Lama Kyeno, which translates into English as calling the teacher from afar. We're going to do this figuratively. Consider, if you will, this piece of art. The bronze figure represents our enlightened potential. The couple sporting and tantric union figuratively reminds us of the teachings and literally reminds us of the sensations that we might experience at the crown of our head simply by blending mantra recitation with the italicized statement, Lama, come to this crown. Let us recite this bit silently. Oopsies. Where is the cursor? silently and mentally during our inhalation, then what shall we do during our exhalation? Let us physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 6-syllable mantra 4 times per breath. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Having chanted the mantra 16 times, let us now sample the first of 4 exercises that will really get us up to speed. But first, a brief introduction to mindfulness. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we access the sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the thoracic region of our spinal cord. It evolved not to support either extreme of mind blanking or active concentration. Instead, it evolved to simply perceive. And to do so vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. If I was a poetic fellow, I would insist that vulnerability is the key that opens the door to mindfulness. Perhaps that is why this meditational archetype, or I should say the figures comprising this meditational archetype, are depicted as naked, the pinnacle of vulnerability. Well, you might ask, if our job is not to actively concentrate upon our breath, then what are we supposed to do with our breath? Simple. We treat our breath the way a piano student treats their metronome. During our inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite, perceiving this very turbulent play of mind. And during our exhalation, or I should say when we notice our bodies spontaneously exhaling, we could silently and mentally recite, relaxing into mind's non-graspable nature. Now, I'm going to count this 16 times per breath. I breathe faster than you because I'm doing all this talking. You'll probably count maybe 8 or 12 repetitions. And I'm going to count this upon the creases and tips of my left palm, advancing my right thumb during each inhalation. Oh yeah, by the way, this here ain't an affirmation. Why is it an affirmation? Because affirmations deal with belief, with wishful thinking. This, however, deals with what is actually going on, actually, in the present moment, as confirmed by fMRI studies. To the best of my knowledge, I am not a neuroscience scientist, I just play one on TV. My OGs will recognize the reference. We turn now to the outer set of preliminary practices inspired by the final meditation manual of the great Tibetan yogi Dzogchen Rinpoche. Into each life some rain must fall. May we have the good fortune to be vulnerable to others' experience of stress, thus planting the seed of empathy. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Instead of viewing interdependence as some sort of boogeyman that's going to drag us to hell, let us view interdependence as a tool by which our love could lighten others' loads. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Welcome to this evening's live stream. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or their application, please type your question in great detail in the chat window. But it's only fun if you push the send button. Otherwise, I won't know what your question is. Mr. James. Mr. James and Dr. Kevin fighting crimes in Edwardian England. Yeehaw. Let us, rather than viewing change morbidly, may the evanescence of all that we see around us remind us of the futility of grasping onto things, beings, and phenomena. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Kevin, my friend, if you love Doctor Who, you might get a chuckle out of the opening lesson. We are grown adults. We are far too old to shred all over ourselves in the name of making the most of the precious opportunities we have to meditate. Far wiser it is instead to flow from love's centered spontaneity. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Having chanted the mantra 16 times, let us continue our training in mindfulness. Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we are wired to notice sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like, as well as emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. Whatever we're to do with all this stuff, well, we're to meditate upon it. But how does that work? Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we access the parasympathetic nervous system found in both the lower lumbar region of our spinal cord as well as the tippy top of the cervical region. It has evolved to both physically relax as well as mentally release. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever we noticed during the previous inhalation could feel less graspable now, because we all evolved, or because all complex life on this planet evolved to think symbolically. Let us sprinkle a bit of figurative language into this proposition. Every time we relax into our exhalation, whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation could begin to feel as if it was as non-graspable as a vast, empty void. Any good English teacher will remind us that a simile is only as effective as it is relatable. Therefore, we must ask, what is a practical example of a non-graspable vast empty void? How about the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although it could be tantalizing to the eye, is equally intangible to the hand? Perhaps that is why the individuals comprising this meditational archetype are often depicted in artwork as being translucent and comprised of light, as non-graspable as a rainbow. During our inhalation, please silently and mentally recite sitting tall, thus generating a vertical traction from our tuchus, or between our tuchus and our head. For me, this is fueled by my diet of lentils. During our exhalation, let us silently and mentally recite the 3-syllable verb, relaxing. If you've just joined me, welcome aboard. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or their application, please type your question in great detail in the chat window. We turn now to our inner set of preliminary practice, once again inspired by the teachings of Dzalpatrul Rinpoche's final meditational manual. Let us cultivate the empathy that longs to free all beings from the toxic tyranny of hating and craving and clinging lions and tigers and bears, oh my. Om mani mimi yung om. Oopsie, let's try this again. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. In the name of being pragmatic, one of the tools to help us to master the Buddha's teaching that we might liberate others with them is simply to rely upon the Buddha's example and instruction and students, which are metaphorically known as the 3 wish-fulfilling jewels. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Let us sidestep the trap of squandering our relationships and time and energy by indulging our defensive tendencies, and instead enthusiastically learn from all our numerous mistakes. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. In classic Tibetan Tantra, there is a technique they describe as Cho. First, one rehearses the inevitability of their death, coalescing their subtle energies into their mind at their heart center and willing it to, or imagining it shooting like an arrow up their central channel, out the crown, into the heart of their teacher overhead. Having mastered the vast expanse, then one turns one's attention to one's discarded body and possessions. One then purifies it, transforms it, and increases it into a vast ocean of bliss-inducing nectar that one shares with all the denizens of nirvana and samsara, especially our karmic creditors, if there is such a thing. I'm but one of many lamas who have sought to essentialize this practice and make it just as easy as possible. I've therefore attempted to essentialize it into one sentence. Out through crown, share my stuff. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. Om mani padme hum. This, of course, reminds me of one of the final scenes from Nightmare Before Christmas, because I have the maturity of a 12-year-old. Let us explore the first of 2 fringe benefits of a regular practice of awareness and letting go, which is known by many names, including Hatha Yoga. We're going to communicate this fringe benefit in terms of good news and bad news. Bad news. When we indulge our active concentration, or I should say when we actively concentrate and actively contemplate, our blood mass coalesces at the bottom of our limbic system in something the size of a pea that the big kids call an amygdala. You and I can simply call the seat of anxiety and aggression. Here's the good news. When we replace active concentration with passive mindfulness and when we replace active contemplation with passive meditation, our blood mass shifts to a hunk of meat that's described as the anterior cingulate gyrus, found approximately 3 centimeters behind our forehead. It functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy. Perhaps that is why the members of this meditational archetype are always depicted as beautiful. During the next 8 to 16 inhalations, please silently and mentally recite "Notice this." And likewise, during the next 8 to 16 exhalations, please silently and mentally continue to recite the 3-syllable verb "relaxing." Having graduated from our preliminary practices, we enter the gateway of highest yoga tantra. Whoops, that was premature. I'm so sorry, Susie. This has never happened before. This exercise is known in Sanskrit as Guru Yoga and in Tibetan as Lama Naljor. I like to refer to it as this evening's third exercise of bliss and letting go. During our inhalation, let us silently and mentally recite Lama Blend with Heart-Mind. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. What is the most efficient way to transform the futility of mindless mantra recitation into the spiritually productive act of mantra meditation? The key is twofold. First, during our inhalation, we passively, silently, and mentally recite this italicized phrase. Number two, during our exhalation, we physically relax as best we can, as we strive to chant these 6 syllables 4 times per breath. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. So right now you might be saying to yourself, self, I suspect this guy who calls himself Lama Jigme is a glazed-eyed, slack-jaw, mouth-breathing knuckle-dragger. That's just fine. Think that all you want as you breathe in, but as you breathe out, relax into the recitation of the mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And now let us explore our second fringe benefit of regularly training in awareness and letting go. Gazing upon this gal, the color of a cumulus cloud, who appears to be actively sporting in tantric union, we are reminded that contrivance is always trumped by spontaneity. And as we notice her partner, who appears to be passively savoring the same tantric union, we are reminded that not all spontaneity is created equal, and that the scattered spontaneity we might experience after our third espresso in 30 minutes will always be trumped by the centered spontaneity that is the product of a consistent practice of mindfulness and meditation. And that is why when we bring our choices and utterances and deeds into the effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity, our life could become as blissful as the real or imagined paradise or pure land or vati of an archetype of enlightenment. Coming now, come let us cross the threshold that takes us into one-syllable meditation exercises. As we breathe in, let us kick back and watch the play of mind as silently and mentally we recite the demonstrative pronoun this. As we exhale, let us relax into mind's non-graspable nature as silently and mentally we recite the one-syllable verb ease. Come, let us ease on down the road. Having climbed to contemplative cruising altitude, together as a team, let us meditate as transformatively as Luke Skywalker on Dagobah under the guidance of Yoda. And now, having graduated from our preliminary practices, let us enter into the gateway of highest Yogatantra. Let us bring the experience of the four bases of mindfulness into the conventional path of love and letting go, where it is love that is emphasized. There are some who would call this leapfrogging over jealousy. We're going to play with 4 deeply metaphoric exercises I will do my best to translate for you. Now, first of all, our job is not to actively visualize or believe or emote or transform into Gandalf the Grey. By simply playing with these words, we are guiding our intention and literally strengthening the neural pathways responsible for empathy. As silently and mentally and passively we recite this line, we could find ourselves sincerely wishing the second fold of the eightfold path. We could find ourselves sincerely wishing that all minds of all beings now possess the wisdom symbolized by a real or imagined Buddha's mind, represented by the idea of a seed syllable, such as free. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. As we play with this exercise, we could find ourselves wishing that each being's experience of the interpersonal was now as loving as a Buddha's communication symbolized by a real or imagined mantra. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. As we play with this exercise, we could find ourselves yearning that all bodies of all beings now enjoy the health represented in Buddhist by the archetype of enlightenment or yidam that we might see in Buddhist art. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. As we play with this exercise, we might find ourselves longing that for all circumstances or lots of all beings to now be as fortunate as the real or imagined paradise or pure land or vati we see represented in Buddhist art. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. It's 100% appropriate for images of the victims of genocide to cartwheel across the stage of your mind while performing this exercise. Having chanted the mantra 16 times, let us return to awareness and letting go. Let us view letting go through a physiological lens as we bring the experience of the 4 bases of mindfulness, this time into the ultimate path of love and letting go, where it is letting go that is emphasized. And yes, there are some who would describe this as leapfrogging over pride. As we breathe in, clearly we could notice our mind's perceptions, emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. And yet, as we relax into the recitation of this mantra, this exact same mind could begin to feel as if it was as non-graspable as a real or imagined seed syllable free comprised only of light. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. As we breathe in, we could become acutely aware of the resonance of each being's experience of the interpersonal, be it glorious or grotesque. And yet, as we relax into our exhalation, this exact same experience of the interpersonal could begin to feel as if it was as non-graspable as a real or imagined mantra comprised only of light. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. By the way, pro tip. A careful reading of the English translation of the final meditation manual of the great Tsa Paltrul Rinpoche reveals that although as a young man he was a rigid fundamentalist, he so evolved along the path of becoming more flexible, loving, laid-back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind, that he sincerely believed and taught that by merely practicing these exercises that we are practicing right now, we are bestowing full tantric empowerment upon all beings everywhere instantly. Do you know what that means? That means that we have torn tantric empowerment out of the talon-like clutches of patriarchy and its pet elitism. As we breathe in, we can notice our forms and others' forms, oh so sensual. And yet, as we relax into the recitation of the 6-syllable mantra, these exact same forms, these exact same bodies could begin to feel as if they were as non-graspable as a real or imagined archetype of enlightenment or yidam, comprised only of light. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. As we look around us, our environments appear to us naturally. And with our mind's eye, we can imagine other people's environments as well. Or I should say other people's environments could come to mind spontaneously and effortlessly. However, As we relax into our exhalation, these exact same, circumstances or lots can begin to feel as if they were as non-graspable as a Buddha's real or imagined paradise or pure land or vati comprised only of light. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Having chanted this mantra 16 times, let us rest in awareness and letting go. As we inhale, let us kick back and watch the antics of mind as silently and mentally we recite the demonstrative pronoun this. As we exhale, let us relax into mind's non-graspability as silent and mentally we recite the one-syllable verb ease. Come, let us pretend there are two primary categories of people who come to the teachings. Fools who think themselves bastions of the faith come to test orthodoxy against the litmus test of familiarity. Or those who really want their mind blown in a delightful way. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This'll work. Let us bring the 5 aggregates into the path of awareness and letting go that some people describe as Trek shows slice through the tyranny of duality, of dread and desire. And yes, this is preposition heavy. I apologize. Together, let's chant. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever body or form we might have noticed during our inhalation could begin to feel as non-graspable as our vast empty void. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever sensation, such as pleasure, pain, or neither, we might have noticed during our inhalation, could begin to feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Now, if you've just joined us, welcome aboard, matey. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or their application, please type your question in great detail in the chat window. How do we transform mindless mantra recitation into spiritually productive mantra meditation? Simple. During our inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite, we could passively, silently, and mentally recite, relaxing into sense. And during our exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite, during our exhalation, we could physically relax as best we can while striving to chant these 6 syllables 4 times per breath. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Together, let's chant. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever appraisal of pleasure or pain's intensity or volume we might have noticed during our inhalation, could begin to feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever impulse, such as pushing, pulling, or clinging, we might have noticed during our inhalation, could begin to feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever awareness of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, or imagination we might have noticed during our inhalation could begin to feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Having chanted the mantra 20 times, let us relax into awareness and letting go. Welcome to the remainder of this evening's live stream. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or their application, I invite you to type your question in great detail in the chat window. Together, let us bring the 5 thoughts into the path of awareness and letting go. Please chant with me. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever emotion we might have noticed during or inhalation. Oopsie, let's try that again. I couldn't read my own writing. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever emotion we might have noticed during or inhalation could begin to feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. So, during our inhalation, let us silently and passively recite this italicized bit. During our exhalation, let us physically relax as best we can while striving to chant these 6 syllables 4 times per breath. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever intention we might have noticed during our inhalation could begin to feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever cognition we might have noticed during our inhalation could begin to feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever recollection we might have noticed during our inhalation could begin to feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever imagination we might have noticed during our inhalation could begin to feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Having chanted the mantra 20 times, during our inhalation, let's kick back and just enjoy the play of mind as silently and mentally we recite the demonstrative pronoun this. During our exhalation, let us physically relax into mind's non-graspable nature as silently and mentally we recite the 1-syllable verb ease. Let us transcend the illusion of samsara and nirvana's vertical duality. By metaphorically inviting all the real or imagined Buddhas, their paradises, and their denizens to dwell in the 84,000 pores of our skin. Thus practicing the body mandala of duality's awareness and non-duality's release. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme. So I'm sorry, there's someone at the door. I'll be right back. Please bear with me. And I'm back. Thank you for your patience. Landlord was at the door, and I gotta keep the landlord happy. Welcome to samsara. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Come together, let us seal this evening's practice with the love that wishes for universal enlightenment and well-being. Please chant with me. May all minds of all beings lucid, yet void no be as wise as a Buddha's mind symbolized by a one-syllable vision. May all speech of all beings resounding, yet void no be as loving as a Buddha's speech symbolized by a multi-syllable mantra. May all forms of all beings sensual, yet void no be as healthy as a yeta mock type depicted in Buddhist art. May all lots of all beings appearing, yet void no be as fortunate as a pure land of Lord depicted in Buddhist art. If you feel I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 10 3/4 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always. Have a good Star Wars day tomorrow.